I am inviting everyone to join me in prayer here. So I invite you to place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath of gratitude. We are grateful and thankful for the love that we are. I'm grateful and thankful that everything God has to give has been given to us because we are inextricably part of God now and forever. We are one with the one with each other. And we rejoice in this. So there is no lack. There is no limitation. It's natural for us to be unlimited and unprecedented. We come together for the purpose of rising above the battlefield, forgetting that there is a battlefield because there isn't, except in our imagination. We are grateful to allow ourselves to truly step out of pain and suffering and to live a life of great and profound love. So this is a time of true healing and liberation. We are grateful to claim it. What I know is the message is clear and that it goes right into our hearts, igniting our hearts in ways that are unexpected and so beautiful, so magnificent. We're astounded. We are grateful and thankful for Tedd's music. He is an inspiration and a light unto the world, igniting us even further in our inspired life. We are grateful to come together and to share the benefits with everyone. We let it be, and so it is. Amen, amen, amen. Yes, yes. All right. So I am getting ready for the holidays, just like everybody else. And there's a ton to do, just like everybody else has a lot to do. And I'm so glad to be able to take this break with you and to enjoy some inspiration musically and message. I'm sure whatever message will be powerful. And I am looking forward to that. So I'm going to introduce my buddy, Tedd Swartz. Tedd is a leader in our men's gathering, in our men's group here in the ministry. And on his journey of 70 plus years, Tedd has had an array of life-changing events. Living in a blended family with Mary Ellen, his wife. They have 6 adult children, 18 grandchildren, and 1 great grandchild. Other life events include the loss of his previous wife, other close family members, bankruptcy, and cancer. In addition, he's experienced amazing blessings, such as a very successful business. Abundant, hang on one second.
I will do it.
Abundant songwriting. He's written, I don't know, hundreds of songs, I think. And he says, finding songwriting to be a light out of the darker events of life and the celebration of his many blessings. So very grateful to have you here today, Tedd. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Well, I want to welcome everybody. I know you're putting it in the chat, what part of town or what part of the country you're from or what country you're from. So moving into the holidays here, and I decided, you know what? I am going to kick it off. I'm in right now in Columbus, Ohio. I was born in Detroit, raised in Michigan. Spent some time doing a little sailing on the Great Lakes. I have a lot of friends and family in the Great Lakes, and so I decided, you know, I'm going to open with this one, and it's well, you're just going to hear it. Well, the snowbirds have all gone south for the winter. Clippers blow down from up north. The Great Lakes steam, some are ready to freeze. The ice shanties wait on the shore. Snow's coming down as we gather around, as new Christmas memories are made. Chatter and laughs as we lift a glass. A smile is on every face. But oh, how I wish you were here to raise a glass and cheer. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. There are mistletoes, a tree aglow, trimming in bright colored gifts. Our thoughts are with those who won't make it home. Blue candles have been lit. And there's a warm aroma from the table. Those sleds and skis can wait. Bow our heads, a prayer thank is said for all the blessings we share. Oh, how I wish you were here to raise a glass and cheer. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas from the Great Lakes. Merry Christmas from the Great Lakes. Merry Christmas from the Great Lakes.
Love it. Love it. Yes. See if we can get one more going there. There we go.
Oh,
Thank you, Ted. Thank you. Yeah. As far as I can tell, the trick is not to move your hands around a lot and to have it be, have your hands be well lit, which yours are, and on a dark background, which you have. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's something you have to turn on. Thank you, Ted. That was inspiring. That was great.
well, thank you guys.
Yes, yes. All right. So, I'm feeling very cheery this holiday season, and I'm happy to share that. I have had some sad holidays, as we all have, and I have had quite a few Christmases alone by myself. I seem to remember when I lived in Hawaii, I was by myself, and I can remember a couple of Christmases alone by myself in when I lived in Los Angeles. And I've taken it as actually a beautiful, quiet time with the Christ. And last year, was it last year? Well, maybe it was in the pandemic. I spent Christmas by myself one of those Christmases. So maybe, yeah, maybe 21. I don't remember now. Anyway, so I'd like to address some thoughts about what do we do if we're feeling down and out during the holidays? Because as A Course in Miracles teaches us, we choose the feelings we would have, and nothing can happen to us that we haven't already agreed to. It's in our script. We are the writers of the script. And so this is, as I've been saying in Masterful Living classes for the last month or so, this is one of the biggest pills, hardest pills to swallow for us as Course in Miracles students, to really accept it and live in it all the time. That I choose the feelings I would have, and that nothing can happen to me that I haven't agreed to, and that nothing is actually happening outside of me, that there is nothing outside of me. There's not one thing in the world of our human experience that teaches us these truths. And so everything in the world actually teaches us something different, the opposite. And this is what makes it such a hard pill to swallow. But what I'm really inviting everyone to do, especially all our Course in Miracles students, all our spiritual students, to really be willing to say, no matter how hard this seems to accept, I would like to accept it fully and know that this is the truth and feel good about it, because the truth is liberating. The truth sets us free from our opinions, from our judgments, from our complaints, from the blame and the shame, the regret and the resentment. Just think about that. The truth sets us free from shame, from resentment, from jealousy, from hurt. The truth sets us free from those things. Why would we hide from the truth? Right? Well, we've made up these very elaborate stories about ourselves, and I say we've fabricated our personality and our view of our personality, our life and being, like weaving an extremely elaborate, intricate, detailed tapestry that we've been weaving lifetime after lifetime and embroidering lifetime after lifetime. We've invested so much lifetime after lifetime. And that being the case, how could we just let it go? It means so much to us. And I've said this before, I think it bears saying again, that I'm the kind of person that I made clothes, let's say, in home economics class. I learned to sew. I was talking about this with a friend the other day. They said, "When did you learn to sew?" I said, "Well, I learned to sew in home ec class back in the 70s." And I had to make clothes. I had to, they were class projects, they were homework. I had to make them. And somewhere I've still got those. I've never gotten rid of them. I'm never going to wear them. No human being is going to wear them, but I made them. So how could I throw them away? You know? And so I really get this idea that we've worked so hard on this idea that we're unlovable. We've worked so hard on this idea that we're bad, that something's wrong with us. We're not quite right, that we don't deserve, we shouldn't be allowed to, all these different opinions we have, and we've worked so hard on them. How could we just let them go? Oh my goodness. It's not just something we bought in a store. We made it. We made this. How can we just put it on the bonfire of God's infinite love? So it takes a great amount of trust to be able to say, I trust that if I can let this go, something far more wonderful, something I enjoy far more will emerge, and I will be so grateful that I let it go. It's like at Easter time, I talk about we can't experience the resurrection until we're done with the crucifixion. You just can't. Until Jesus came off the cross and was laid in the tomb, resurrection was not happening. It wasn't happening. And the same is true for us. As long as we feel we're being crucified by life, by our family, by our workplace or anything like that, we cannot rise up in resurrection. And I talk with people all the time. It's the great blessing of my life that I get to speak with people almost every day who are going through difficult times and they're working their way through. It's the great, great blessing of my life to be able to have these conversations with folks. And in every single case, when it's hard, there's misperception. It never fails. It's the way that they're looking at it. Uh, Pain is a wrong perspective, Course in Miracles says. So it's the way we're looking at it that causes the pain. It's not the thing itself. And that's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. Imagine you've just had your leg amputated and somebody says to you, it's not that you're missing a leg. No, it's how you're thinking about missing a leg that's bothering you. Most people would go, crazy lady in my room, get her out of here. I don't need to hear whatever nonsense she's peddling today. But it's the truth of it. It's the truth of it. And we won't find out that's the truth of it until we're willing to let go of the painful perspective. So what I love about Course in Miracles teachings is people make it much, people don't really, actually, I'm going to back up. What I love about the Course in Miracles teaching so much is that it's so easy. So easy. It's so simple. It's not complicated. It's not hard. We can make it complicated and we can make it hard, but it's not. We just have to be willing. That's all that's required. And as I say all the time, willingness isn't saying I'm willing, just like saying I'm sorry or please forgive me or I forgive you means that there's any forgiveness happening. Those are just words, and words are just symbols, and symbols are not powerful. They can be helpful in navigating this world, but they're not healing. Symbols are not healing. Words are not healing. Ideas are not healing, but the truth is healing. The truth is healing. The truth is liberating. The truth is our get out of jail free. And so our willingness to embrace the truth, that's the key. So one of the ways that we can cheer ourselves up this holiday is simply to recognize that the amount of love and light that we're going to have in our life is the amount that we're willing to share. The amount of love and light and joy and freedom and beauty and truth that we're going to have in our life is the amount that we're willing to share. To have, give all to all, it says in A Course in Miracles. In order to have joy, give joy to all. In order to have love, give love to all. Not complicated, not rocket science, not even difficult. But we have attached so many ideas to love in our mind that are not true. Like it's not safe to love. It's always safe to love. It's safer to love than not to love because like attracts like. It's safer to love than not to love because like attracts like. The thing is that people think that things that are manipulative and controlling are love, and they are not. Love is never boastful. Love is not unkind. Love is not manipulative or controlling. And love doesn't need anything in return. We've been talking about this in the undoing unworthiness classes, that if we're giving in order to get something in return, it's not loving, it's manipulative, it's controlling, it's codependent. So many times people will say, I give and give and give, and I don't get anything back. They must not love me because I must not be lovable. There's either something wrong with them or there's something wrong with me. But anybody who's had others giving and giving and giving and giving to them and expecting things in return knows how really uncomfortable that is. And some people are willing to do that. They're willing to say things like, I will stand by you and give you comfort and sex and the things that you're asking me for. If you give me a home and you give me some money and you give me recognition or a job or things like that, there's always going to be people who are willing to give in order to get. But then they are creating for themselves or making for themselves a life that's loveless. So in order to have a life of love, give love to all. So giving from the heart is an active practice, and that most of us have not been really clearly taught, because most of us have been raised by people having a human experience, and we haven't been raised by a person who knows that they're the Christ. Right? Most of us haven't. So we've grown up with situations where our parents, our caregivers, are giving to us in order to manipulate and control us. If you clean your room, if you do your chores, I will give you this and this. And if you don't, I will punish you. Well, that's not a loving arrangement. Not a loving arrangement at all. But most of us have been raised up in these kinds of arrangements. And my grandmother used to try to manipulate me with things. And when I didn't want that, because I just didn't want to be manipulated, it felt icky to me. She would get mad at me and say I was the most selfish little girl in the whole world. And I would think, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to do what you're trying to make me do. I don't want that. You know, if you want to give me something, give me something. If you'd like to ask me to do something, ask me to do something, but don't combine them. Don't combine them. And even at work, when I used to have a job where I wasn't the leader, because now my job is president of the Power of Love Ministry and spiritual leader and visionary. And so I wear a number of hats in this ministry, and I do receive a salary, but I am not doing this work to get a salary. And I would do this work even if there was no, and I had to have another job to pay my bills. I would still do this job. I would, because this is what I'm interested in. I'm giving from my heart, and nobody can stop me. So I'm doing it. But here's the thing. I was talking with Ted earlier in the day, and I have talked with many people over the years who were feeling less than, not enough, sad, lacking. And I would say to them, why don't you volunteer somewhere? Why don't you just give freely to some people in your life, to some organization? I had a boyfriend who really was talented at photography, and he had his own dark room, and he could be sad and depressed. And I'd say, honey, you have so much talent and you have free time. Take that free time and that talent and go down to the boys club and see if they'd like to have some free photography classes, or go down to the Y and see if they'd like to have photography classes there. You love it. You love sharing. You love doing the photography. You can bring so much happiness, and you would be delighted. Your life would feel so much more meaningful and purposeful. But he just wasn't into it for whatever reason. He never explained it to me. But that's the thing. If you're feeling down and out this holiday season, what can you do? What can you share? What can you give from your heart? It doesn't have to be material, but I loved that my neighbors, Carol and Tim, who live right next door to me, they put out on a message board back in early November that in December they were going to bring goodie bags to people in this town who might not be able to get out, might not have friends or loved ones close by, helping them celebrate the holidays. And so they had 15 bags that they had planned with gifts in them for adults, not for children, but for adults who were shut in and things like that, and cookies and things like that. They were going to put in these bags. And if people would message them privately, if they knew of anybody who would be a welcoming recipient of one of these bags. And I just thought, that's so beautiful. That is so, so beautiful. It reminds, and I message right away, can I put some things in your bags? I would love to be able to contribute too. And because they grew up here. I didn't grow up here, but they've lived here all their lives. So they know all kinds of people here. Now, and it reminded me of my grandparents. And so at Thanksgiving, at Easter, at Christmas, my grandparents would send all kinds of things out into their community. What they would do is they would go to their church, which they went to church every Sunday, and they were probably the biggest donors in their church because they just believed so much in the value of the church. And they would ask the pastor for a list of people who wouldn't be able to get out and who would be good recipients of their giving. And so at Christmas, they did poinsettias and other things like that, wreaths. And at Thanksgiving, they gave turkeys and food and things like that. And Easter, they would do Easter lilies and things like that, and probably hams and whatnot. My grandfather had a station wagon, probably had that station wagon for 25 years. And and he would fill up that station wagon and he would go to all those people on the list. And he was not a sociable man, but he was pretty shy. But he would go and he would deliver all those things and say, "This is from me and Helen, and Merry Christmas to you and yours," and things like that. And I really observed that closely as a child. I saw how my grandparents were invested in the people that other people might not see. And he would do things, they would do things for people who they knew were having surgery and didn't have family. They would do things like that. They did them quietly. I knew about it because I was visiting them and seeing my grandfather load up the car and stuff like that. But they didn't make a big fuss of it. They didn't want people to know. They just wanted to do what they felt was helpful. And I don't know a better way to cheer yourself up. My friends Liz and Paul, who have both been here with their daughter Britta for Sundays with Spirit over the years. Liz was just here recently, and maybe even last Sunday. Anyway, I think they still do it. Christmas Day, they go and they participate in making up a huge number of goodie bags with food for people who don't have food, who are living on the street in Los Angeles. And since the time Britta was a little girl, because I knew them just after Britta was born, as long as I've known them, they did that on Christmas Day. They went and distributed those on Christmas Day, and then they had their Christmas Day the day after. That's what they did. So there are so many who are quietly in need. And when we are reaching out to them, we are going to be expressing the love that lights up our heart, and it's meant to be shared, right? We have an infinite supply of love. There's no limit to how much love we can share. And what it says in the course is that those who really, my summation of it is those who are loving are invulnerable. So if you feel frightened, if you feel worried, if you feel doubtful, get out there and give all to all. And it doesn't have to be money. Of course, it doesn't have to be money. I love TikTok, and I see on TikTok these men, these gentlemen who have lawn care businesses, and they will notice the worst lawns in their community, the ones that just are an absolute eyesore in the neighborhood. And they will go and spend the whole day cleaning it up and making it look good for free. They just go in and start doing it. And it's wonderful how you see these things that people get so clever about what they can do. I live in Vermont, and we've got rain today, and we're going to have snow and ice tomorrow. They're predicting major power outages. We'll see what happens. But there's going to be a lot of snow here tomorrow, I think, and people are going to need things shoveled and cleaned off, etc., walks and steps and cars and driveways and all of that. And maybe you live in a place where people get lots of snow, and you can help provide some snow removal. I have gone through toll booths where someone paid the toll. The person in front of me paid the toll for the one in back of for me. And usually I go through the easy pass, but I have gone through where I had to pay the money and somebody paid it ahead. Or sometimes people will pay coffee for the next person, that kind of thing. So it's not about the money. Of course, it's not about the money. It's about letting people know you care. It's about letting people know you see them, you recognize them. And it's about letting people know that your heart is overflowing. And because they used to say, each one teach one. And so to me, that's a beautiful philosophy. Each one teach one. So decide what you would like to teach this holiday season, or maybe with your whole life. What is it you would like to teach? What is your living teaching legacy that's paying forward and forward and forward? Because every time you teach one, they might get ignited to teach someone too. And it just keeps rippling and rippling and rippling. And that's how the golden age of enlightenment is unfolding. May not look like it in the world, but trust me, it's happening. It's on, and it is occurring, and nothing can stop it. So for us, how can we share the love? How can we spread the light today and every day? It's not a burden. The yoke is easy and the burden is light, L-I-G-H-T, meaning it's not heavy. No, not meaning that, meaning the burden is light. It's the light of the world. It's the light of the Christ. So the yoke is easy, the burden is light. And that's what we've got to share, is the light. Yes. Oh, all right. So I'm going to invite you to place your hands and turn within. And instead of trying to figure it out with the ego mind, oh, what have I got to share? What could I do? How much time do I have? No, let's not do that. Let's go into our heart and open ourselves to the light of the Christ within and say, what would you have me do? What am I to do? What am I guided to? How can I share? How can I lift myself and lift others as well? How can I raise my vibration and share that with others? What is the guidance for me to receive right now? Maybe there's somebody in the hospital that needs a pet sitter. Maybe there's some kittens that need fostering. If we're willing, the ideas will come, the clarity will come. This I know. So I'm inviting you to continue to contemplate this as we go into our music here. And Ted is going to share another song with us.
I had to dig back into my catalog a little bit for this one. Haven't played it in a while. And it's called Glory Days. And it speaks specifically to what your message was, Jennifer. So Spirit said, find it. I got it. Here it is. 1986. To give you an idea when I wrote this one. And one last thing I want to say is I know it's a custom for some of the people to, after we do this song and we do our breakout, we're going to do a little something a little bit different today. All the men are going to be together. So Herb, Rolando, Dove, Chris, I hope you'll stick around. I'm just looking so forward to meeting you guys. Glory days, we're living in glory days. Give of yourself and you're on your way to glory days. Glory days, we're living in glory days. Give of yourself and you're on your way to glory days. Help someone. Give of yourself, stay till the job is done. Then quiet as the setting sun, be on your way. Fill the need in such a way no one else might see, with respect and dignity. Let love lead the way. The reward you'll find will come from deep, deep inside. Inner peace, a grace-filled life, glory days. Glory days, we're living in glory days. Give of yourself and you're on your way to glory days. Glory days, we're living in glory days. Help someone, then be on your way. Glory, glory days. To learn to laugh, we first must learn to cry. To learn to live, we must learn to die. And for wisdom, oh glorious wisdom, we must pray. Yeah, glory days. Glory days. We're living in glory days. Not yet to come, but here today. Glory days. Glory days. We're living in glory days. Give of yourself and you're on your way to glory days. I did it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
You did do it. You did do it. Oh, yeah, I got myself unmuted. Okay, so I also would like to add to that. Here we go. Ted? Oh, you missed it. Here we go. And let's do also the balloons. There we go. One piece symbol is the balloons and 2 is the confetti. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Gotta hold them still. You gotta hold them still. That's the key. There you go. I don't know why it's not working, Ted. I don't hold it against you though. Yeah. Yeah. What was the I forgot now what the fireworks is. It's anyway. We're gonna go into breakout rooms right now. And so I've got them all set up. And I invite you in your breakout rooms, please, to share your inspirational ideas, what came through, how you're feeling about extending the love this holiday season. So here we go. Oops. We are back. All right. How were the breakouts? Did you get any ahas? Did you get any breakthroughs? Yeah, anything? All right. Excellent. I invite you to put into the chat anything, any decisions you made, any ahas you had. I love to share in that. So please share with me and I can energize it with you. All right. So we're going to make a few announcements here and then Ted's going to give us another song. I'm going to give another prayer and then we're out of here. And then at the top of the hour, for those who are in the Undoing Unworthiness class, we'll be joining together. I see Peggy there. And I am making some announcements. So announcements are we have a class coming up this week. It's a 4-part class. It's called Forgive and Be Free. And if you really would like to do a deep dive into some forgiveness work before the holidays, this 4-part class is Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's get her done, as Larry, the cable guy, says, before the holidays, and it makes such a difference, such a relief. So let's actually do the forgiveness work. And that is coming up starting on Thursday. That 4-part class, Forgive and Be Free, is a bonus for anyone who registers for Masterful Living now. So if you're already registered for Masterful Living program this year or next year, you've got it as a bonus. If you're not registered, then join us. Then you can join us in Masterful Living and you'll get it as a bonus. Also, New Year Reboot is coming up January 6th. And that is a bonus for everyone who's pre-registered for Masterful Living program next year as well. So I invite you to check those things out. And then just a reminder that we do all these free things like Sundays with Spirit, like free forgiveness workshops and daily inspiration, all of that, the men's group, all of it is on a donation basis. So I invite you to consider giving us a donation. And Arthur is there putting the links into the chat. And I'm going to turn it over to Ted, who is going to give us another song. And if you have anything to share about how people can get your music, please do.
Well, come to Sundays with Spirit, you can hear it. I am working on, and I do have a bereavement CD. My email is Tedd Swartz, Ted with 2 Ds, no space, at gmail.com. And if you just send me an email and in the subject put Sparrow, I'll send you a copy of the Sparrow CD. I performed at a conference in Miami back in 2003, and just a friend of mine, we just recorded this, and I used it in the conference as part of my talk. And so I have it on MP3, so it's free, and I'll send it to you. And I'm going to do another Christmas song. As we're coming into the holidays, and that Jennifer mentioned earlier on, she spent a holiday alone. I wasn't totally alone, but I felt it, and I know any of us that have lost a spouse, the holidays take on a little different meaning, and so I wrote this song as a part of a fundraiser I did for a hospice, and I'm just going to share it with you. This will be a blue candle Christmas. In my window there will be 2. One to remind me of the Lord's birthday, and for those alone this Christmas, one's for you. I wish for all an old-fashioned Christmas, open heart, the eyes of a child, to see the babe in the manger, to feel the peace of his love deep inside. Let me sing for you, Lord, happy birthday. Thank you for all the gifts you've given to me. I light a candle of blue, a symbol of my love, to stand out among all the red and green. The second candle shines for all of you alone, a beacon of peace in the night to touch the soul. Feel the warmth channeled by its light, and warm your heart, for in spirit with you tonight, to sing for you Merry Christmas. The Lord has a special love for you. Open your heart to His comfort, and then share it by lighting your own 2 candles of blue. Then we'll be as one in a blue candle Christmas. In our windows there will be 2, one to remind us of the Lord's birthday, and for those alone this Christmas, one's for you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well,
Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Love to hear you sing. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so I am, yeah, keep going. So just hold it steady. I think if you put it against your blue shirt,
bigger.
yeah, there you go. There you go. And then for those who don't know, 2 thumbs up gets the fireworks.
I really want that to work.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's something you have to turn on. Are you updated? Do you update your Zoom?
Yeah.
I update
Yes.
my Zoom like 2 or 3 times a week.
It used to do the little white thumb if I went like this.
Yes.
But-
Yes. Sorry.
All right. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to figure that out.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say a prayer and send us on our way. Very grateful, very thankful for our joining together today. Oh, I'm getting a cramp in my leg. For the love of God that lives in, through, and around us as us. It's all that there is. It's all that we are. We are grateful to remember that we are the love of God and that we bless the world with our holiness. We are grateful to receive the gifts of God today and to share, share, share. In gratitude, we do share the benefits of our spiritual practices, our gatherings, our healing with everyone because we're one with them. In gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. 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 Much love to you. Mwah. God bless.